potential teen mom cases on Paternity Court.
But I have done my best to be patient. I have been frustrated. I have been trying to be compassionate because you all are young people. You are not father.
Seriously?
Seriously, baby.
What?
Miss Coe is done with her daughter's demeanor. Today, Mama not only questioned her grandson's paternity, but also requested to have parental classes for her daughter because she doesn't trust young Miss Coe's life choices and wants to put the teenager back on track. So she needs to know the word of DNA.
Miss Coe, you say you're here today because your daughter is an out-of-control teenager and she needs help. You have serious doubts that your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, is the father of your 7-month-old grandson, and so he needs to know the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Mama Coe sighed and exposed her daughter's behavior, that she was a freak for authority, and also expressed that she was an out-of-control young girl who needed serious guidance in her life. To explain her testimony, she had a list of bad events to share.
I and my girlfriend had jumped on her because she still did not want to follow house rules. All I asked her to do was not disrespect the house.
That's not
You
the
made a
truth.
phone call saying my mother and her girlfriend just jumped on me. They came to my house, they busted out my car, they destroyed my house.
God, punching cops and damaging your own house? What's your problem, girl? Then the defendant shared that she grew up with her father and only started living with her mom in her teenage years. Upon this, Mama Coe disagreed with her.
I'm not here to, you moved them boys in our house.
If
It
y'all
wasn't
had a
just
problem,
one
y'all
boy.
would have put them out. If y'all had a problem, y'all would have enforced the rules
So-
and put them out. Did something.
When
I'm a
we
child,
found
like you
out
said.
that
I'm a
they
child.
there,
If it was
what
a
did we
problem,
do?
you should have put them out. If I'm a child,
I need to clarify something on this.
A salty relationship with her mother made her rebel, but having 7 people in your mom's house is still not right. Then the defendant said that the house was just a hangout spot for all the friends, and all of them were dating around one another in the group, and this sparked an objection from Mama Coe.
When I find out she's pregnant, I go to the guy. I go to Larry. I say to Larry, look, as Zaire's mother, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've got to be 100. I say you need to get a DNA test.
I'm not gonna lie, but there is a possibility. This baby could be someone else. I didn't just say you're the father. You're the father.
Of course, in a house full of random teenagers, nothing good would come out of it. Then Miss Coe explained another mess, that she had a boyfriend, but she slept with a guy named Larry, so there's a possibility in this case. Then the judge asked about Mom's concern over this issue.
I move out to Arizona. She calls me 2 months later after I'm in Arizona. She says, Mom, I need you. She's about to have my grandson. What do we do? And then she
You seem
still didn't
emotional.
want to
What
do.
do you feel?
The
It's
only
okay.
rule I had
Let
for
her speak. You don't have to feel ashamed
and
about
I
that.
was there for you.
Well, if you'd been on the right track, you wouldn't have had to cry today. Now it feels like she wants to make some good from her life. After the mother and daughter had cried the same tears of love and care, Mr. Boyce, the defendant's boyfriend, was brought in to testify for the case.
I feel like from the beginning I knew it was a possibility, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he made me grow more, you know what I'm saying, since he been around. Because my mom, she passed away. Once I told her about it, you know what I'm saying, she just, oh, that's my grandbaby. She buying him everything. I'm like,
So your mom,
she passed away.
Okay, it's good to know that not only the mother, but the alleged father of the baby is also hoping for positive results to make their son's life better. That's a good sign. Then, Mr. Boyce shared his thoughts regarding doubts.
We wasn't together. She was in a relationship with another guy. I always got a rubber in my back pocket.
even today.
Yeah.
Okay. Good,
mean,
good.
I
I'm
can't-
glad to hear it.
I can't really say if I used it or not because I was under the influence. Like,
So you don't remember if the sex you had was safe sex?
yes.
The paternity of the baby was a big problem. But more than that, the concerns of a mother for her daughter's life and future were also very deep. And when guiding her, it was important to know the father of the baby so she wouldn't make the same mistakes again.
Mr. Boyce, you are not the father.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I'm still.
First love is enough to turn your world upside down, but you can't tolerate it if he denies your child. Miss Short was an innocent girl who fell into the trap of her first love's baby and now wanted to prove to him his paternity so she could lessen her life-bearing burdens.
Mr. Johnson, you are in court with your mother and say you might have been the plaintiff's first love, but you weren't the only one. You refused to do anything for her son until the DNA results prove you are his biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The plaintiff started the testimony by saying that her son deserved to have a father figure in his life. She didn't want to raise him alone and needed help because she was still going through her school. Next, she broke down in tears, and Grandma shared some words.
She just need to know, is he the father? So he can step up and do the right thing, hopefully. You know, we can't make him. We need to know, because I did stop him from coming over because I didn't want no feelings to get involved, like them to get attached if he wasn't the father, because she did tell them it's a possibility.
Poor girl. Without uttering a bad word, she only asked for help from the father. Next, Ms. Short said that the defendant suddenly broke up with her, and in heartbreak, she once slept with another guy, and when pregnant, she told both of them of the possibility. Then, Mr. Johnson shared his thoughts on the pregnancy.
I found out she was pregnant 6 months.
And were you informed that you were the biological father?
Yes, ma'am. She told my mom that she was pregnant and I could be the father. So at the time, I'm thinking that the baby's mine. At the end of the day, when I come home from being away, I got her friends coming to me, talking to me about the other dude.
At least he didn't deny it at first. I mean, that's a good part he played. Then the plaintiff shared that even after the possibility of confession, his mother, Miss Mabry, offered to help them. Upon this, Ms. Short's mama told their struggles for raising the baby alone, with further allegations from the defendant.
It was a point in time where her mama would get into our arguments and tell me not to come back to the house. None of that. If I come over there, she's gonna call the police. That's why I stayed
Never
distant.
said that to you about calling the
Man.
police.
But it was words being said about, he has another family member that wasn't even around when this happened, but he knows about everything.
How are you even asking for help when you threaten the father to visit the baby? Their testimony seems faulty to me, but it's too soon to say something. Then Miss Mabry testified on the situation, and she counter-accused them.
When we try to get the baby, she have to come and sit with us. We can't get the baby, and she talking about flexing and front and all this. We was trying to be involved with this baby, even though we know it was a possibility that it's not my son baby.
And I could back her up on that. It was times that I tried to come see the baby, but
My
her
baby
mother
still
wouldn't
do
let
for
me
this
come to the
baby.
house.
So the plaintiff's side also has some faults, which they don't want to acknowledge. But why are they pushing him away from the baby so badly? Then the judge asked the plaintiff about her surety about the father, and she said that her assumption was based on the dates. Next, Judge asked Mr. Johnson about the birth certificate.
He wasn't gonna sign nothing until we found out the truth.
When I had him to see, did he look like Mr. Johnson? I don't want to go through this.
I just want to know the truth, or if he is mine, I will be there for him. And I just don't want to be in the midst of this is that, that's that. I don't want to be in the midst. I just want to know the truth.
Even if he was present at birth, still, both of them showed irresponsible behavior for the baby. They admitted their mistakes, but had nothing more to say on this matter. And seeing this, the judge stepped up and shared some much-needed guidance to these young people.
But I have done my best to be patient. I have been frustrated. I have been trying to be compassionate because you all are young people, and now you've gotten yourself into this whole big drama with adult situations. You can't even string 2 good sentences together in this courtroom.
It was tough to see a young girl worrying more about her baby than her future. The mistakes of the youth can end you up in the dark. But now, all this discussion was useless, and only results were important so that both parents can take responsibility and can protect themselves in the future.
Mr. Johnson, you are the father.
Like I said, I'll be there for him.
Good.
Miss Taylor was not ready to step back and drag the defendant to the court to prove that he fathered her 3-month-old daughter. To fully use her anger, she also sued him for $2,256 for childcare expenses that she had to bear alone. Now, to win her right, a DNA test is required.
Ms. Taylor, you say Mr. Brown is an older man who swept you off your feet and got you pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you say Ms. Taylor is obsessed with children and has baby fever.
Yes.
And you believe she may have already been pregnant by another man the first night you had sex with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
The plaintiff made a hard attack on Mr. Brown by calling him a miser, as he didn't do anything good and bought just 2 sets of cheap diapers for the baby that only gave her daughter a rash. So the defendant then defended himself against this.
Did you use protection?
Not all the time.
Well then, there's a possibility it could be your baby.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor, have you tried at all to get Mr. Brown involved? Have you called him? Have you said, do you want to come by and see the baby?
Yes, Your Honor. Every time I call him, he say, that ain't my baby. You need to go find your baby daddy and stop calling me.
First, buying cheap diapers is shameful. Second, they have different statements about using protection. Don't know where this would lead. Next, the plaintiff said that she met Mr. Brown on her 18th birthday at a club, and that's where the trouble started.
He came up to you in the club?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you how old?
18.
And he was how old?
32.
What?
32, Your Honor.
How old are you, sir?
32.
I always say beware the old man in the club.
Hey.
Oh, it's gonna be tough. Not one statement of theirs matches with the other. Then the judge asked the plaintiff to explain more about their relationship, and she said that it was her preference to have an older man, but she was disappointed. Upon this, Mr. Brown attacked her with strong allegations.
First time we used a condom. Second time we used...
If I was already pregnant, how come my baby 3 months?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out. The third time the condom broke.
The condom broke.
Yes.
In fact, you could potentially be
and then she kept
Melanie's
saying,
father.
Keep going, keep going. I was like, no, no. And I told her I'd be back, and I left.
Protection or not, these two are making us swing badly with their lies. Then the judge asked Miss Taylor about the pregnancy, and she said that the defendant was present at the hospital and left for a smoke, but never came back, and showed the picture proof.
I have a picture of him
Let me
holding the
see
baby.
this evidence.
Then he said he was going to smoke a cigarette and he never came back, Your Honor.
Your nerves were shot.
Because I didn't feel a bond.
See, this is a picture here of you, and this is holding
Melanie.
Melanie.
Soon as she put
It
the baby
looks
in my...
like you're looking at her in a loving way.
I was looking like, I gotta go.
Is he negating everything in this case? I'm surprised how he never claimed that he didn't know her. Next, the judge only asked the plaintiff whether she loved this man, and Mr. Brown asserted this fact, but she denied it and explained herself.
If I give him what he wants, he'll give me what I want. And I want him to take care of my baby.
And this is exactly why young girls have no business having babies. He never wanted to be your boyfriend. 9 times out of 10, he gonna come get the sex, tell you he going out to smoke, then never come back.
It's clear that she is young, but girl, you don't have to be so dumb to trade his financial help like this. Get some sense, he's using you. Then the defendant added more doubts that she was with multiple guys, and to support this, Mr. Brown's brother gave his testimony.
A couple of days after we had left the club, I'm walking out my apartment complex to go get something to eat. And as I'm walking out, I see Mercedes walking in. And she walking in with a couple of my homeboys from the same apartment complex.
So do you think that that's what they were doing?
I'm pretty sure there's a great possibility that that's what they were doing.
That's not true, Your Honor.
The constant denial of Mr. Brown and immature acts of the plaintiff to survive for her baby were useless. As in this mess, the only life that will bear the consequences will be her daughter. And to save that little girl's future, the judge read the results.
Mr. Brown, you are the father.
I told you. Can I have that paper, Your Honor?
Well, now I can hold her again.
Miss Ramelis was desperate to find her baby's father today, but she was confused between two men who could potentially be the real daddy. Not just this, but her doubts are due to her adventures because she cheated on Mr. Seymour. So a DNA test is needed in this hunt.
Ms. Ramelis, you are here today to test 2 men to determine the paternity of your son. You say that you were dating Mr. Seymour for the past 4 years, but then you cheated with another man. Mr. Seymour, you are one of the 2 possible fathers being tested for paternity today.
Yes, Sean.
The plaintiff laid out the relationship with Mr. Seymour, that she was very happy with him and he was a proper good man she needed in her life. But soon, some rumors reached her ears that the defendant was messing around in a strip club.
And he's telling me that, oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, when I'm being the one that I'm supposed to. I'm not doing you wrong or anything. I am there for you when you need me, but he was cheating, doing a whole bunch of things. Then he had got another job.
Now you didn't witness this, you were told this.
He was told
I did not witness.
So when you took a break, you should have stuck to it, girl. Then the plaintiff revealed that after their improper break in a relationship, she started seeing a mutual friend, Mr. Covington, and slept with him. Next, it was the defendant's turn to speak.
At some point,
you said it was a promise
found
ring.
out
I didn't
you
know
were
what it was.
pregnant. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm going to say it. It was like I had to say, okay, I had sex with DJ and I had sex with Jeremy. Jeremy might be the father. I'm 100% for sure. Jeremy's the father. But then again, I had sex with DJ.
So, she manipulated both guys to get the best one out for the baby. You got a good game going on, girl. The whole back and forth involvement of these guys was confusing, so the judge asked more questions from Mr. Covington to understand the situation better.
She came up and was like, I'm pregnant. I said, well, don't you have a boyfriend? That's who you need to be talking to and calling about this situation. Even though, I'm not gonna lie, we had sex that time we did. So I kind of feel like I do have the possibility of being in the father, but
I don't feel like I'm the
at the
father
same
at all.
time, this his old lady. I have someone. I have a girlfriend.
One guy gives his name to the baby, and the other is alleged to be the father. What is going on? Then, after taking out all their frustrations, both men in the court shared their thoughts on stepping up for the baby.
I can't do that if he ain't gonna be a father and I'm gonna be the father. At the end of the day, it's only gonna be one father. And I wanna know who the father is.
You've invested a lot of time in this child.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done?
Clothes, shoes, Pampers, spend time with him 2-3 weeks at a time since he been born.
And you spend time with the baby?
Yeah, he come over my house, she'll let me, that's one thing I can say, she let me get the child.
The spiteful revenge of the plaintiff was a fun ride for her. But now look at her, standing confused about the real father of her baby. Moreover, this irresponsible behavior only created problems for her son. And now, only DNA could solve this issue.
Mr. Seymour, you are not the father. Mr. Covington, you are not the father.
Seriously?